Welcome to Equipping Leaders, a podcast where I share and discuss resources, tools, and information to equip leaders to build creative, cohesive teams through culture and leader development. Welcome to Equipping Leaders, Episode 3. I am your host, Natasha, and today I'm going to discuss mentorship. When I think about mentorship, there are a lot of things that come to mind. But instead of telling you about the mentorship world and all the things in it, I'm going to focus on 3 areas. The mentor-mentee relationship, some great mentors that I have had in my professional experience, and how to select a mentor or mentee. Hopefully, you have had the opportunity to have a mentor in some aspect of your life, and hopefully that relationship inspired growth and forward momentum in you. I'm sure that there are also people, myself included, who have had a mentor selected for them, where they had no say. This is so frustrating, and those situations are complicated for reasons that we'll discuss in a few minutes. When it comes to mentorship, this is a relationship between 2 people. Typically, one of those people has more experience or knowledge in an area than the other person, and they are helping to guide that person to where they desire to be. Alexandra Trenfor has a quote that I believe describes mentorship very well. The quote is, "The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see." Being a mentor means guiding while letting your ego go. You are a mentor because you have amazing experience and amazing communication skills, but you also know that your experience will not mirror someone else's. There are too many variables. There's time, generation, individual styles, and a mentor will understand this, which is why that Alexandra Trenfor quote is so pertinent. When you enter a mentoring situation, both people must want to be a part of the relationship, and there must be mutual respect. I have had people say, "I'm going to mentor you." And all I was thinking was, oh, no, please, no, thank you. Because there's not a connection there. Or maybe I didn't view that individual as someone who would be able to support where I wanted to go. A mentor can feel the same on that other side too. Choosing a mentee is a process. It has to be someone that you have a connection with, whom you can set proper boundaries with, and who is looking to be in a field or knowledge area where you have experience. Mentoring is not just yammering on to someone about your experiences or your opinions or your perspective. Both parties must be engaged. A mentor is also aware of where a mentee wants to go and provides insight and guidance that are in line with that mentee's goals. It can also be valuable to have different mentors for different things. It would be challenging to have one mentor who just could magically span the breadth of topics and areas in everybody's life. So for an example for me is that in the military, I had a mentor who was a senior leader, and he was able to guide me through and support me through a myriad of military goals. Outside of the military, I also had a mentor for building a business, and those 2 could not advise on the expertise of the other. I have met a lot of people who talked loudly about stories that are not topical and made no sense, and then later claimed that they had quote-unquote mentored me or other people in a group. No, you didn't. You told a story, and that's fine, but that is not mentoring. The connection that I've mentioned a few times is extremely important because sometimes we need to hear hard truths. And if we are connected to someone and we know that they understand who we are and where we want to go, it makes those truths a little easier to hear and deal with. I know that I have had conversations with my mentors that started with them saying, "I'm going to tell you the truth and you're not going to like it." When I was in the military, there was a promotion list that I thought I was going to be on, and I had heard rumors that I was on it. The senior leaders are supposed to have a discussion with you prior to the release of the list, especially if you did not make it. I was called into my mentor's office, and he said, "I know you heard that you made the list, but you didn't. I'm sorry, but why do you think that is, and what do you need to improve on?" So from there, I took out a piece of paper and a pen, and I told him all the areas where I knew I could improve and different things that I could change in my leadership style and in my growth and development plan. And he let me talk for about 45 minutes. And at the end, he goes, "Yep, All of that self-reflection and knowing where you stand and what you need to improve, that's why you made the list. So I was grateful that I had made the list, but I was also really grateful that I was talking to someone with whom I could truly reflect and be candid. In that moment, he was pushing me to see how I could be better, to ensure that I wasn't going to rest there, but that to see how I would have handled that failure so that he could have coached and mentored me through that piece as well. So while he challenged me to look at areas where I needed to improve, he was also my biggest advocate, both when I was around and when I was not. And I believe I 100% owe my success in the military to him. So what are the steps to selecting a mentor or mentee? The approach to either side is similar. You want to talk to that person in advance to see if the mentorship relationship will be beneficial to both parties. You want to ensure that there is value for each person. It's also important because you want to make sure you're a good match. You need to be able to set appropriate boundaries and ensure that each person can set and respect their own and the other person's boundaries. It's also valuable to mention that not every person is ready to be a mentor or to be mentored. In those situations, it will 100% be a waste of time for one or both of the people involved. You want to engage with someone who can respect the other person, respect the process, and respect where someone wants to go. Mentorship relationships do not have to last forever. As with most relationships, this too is something that evolves over time. There is a saying that people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And this relationship is similar to those. The mentor that I mentioned previously, when I started my transition to leave the military, he remained an excellent source of advice and he became an excellent friend. Okay, so today I discussed the mentor-mentee relationship, which is unique in what it is trying to accomplish. I talked about an exceptional military mentor that I had, and how he both challenged and supported my progress and development. And finally, I talked about things to consider when looking to be a mentor or mentee. When you enter these relationships, do so thoughtfully. These relationships are so important, not just for our growth and development, but also for our professional lives. And that's whether you're on the mentor or the mentee side. When you're considering being a mentor, ask yourself, who would the ideal mentee be? I assure you they are out there, and vice versa. When you consider being mentored, ask yourself who the ideal mentor would be. It does not have to be an exact person, but consider the qualities that you are looking for in that person. When you approach mentorship, make sure it is a good fit, that boundaries are set and respected, and ensure that both people are adding value to each other. Thank you for listening, and please join me next time when I talk about peer effects.